Hello, and welcome to Internship Search for Graduate Students. My name is Damiao Zoe Xu. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a graduate assistant for graduate students and postdoc career services and programs at the Center for Career Development, and also a PhD candidate in the Department of Educational Leadership. This presentation will cover several topics. I'll begin with an overview of internships and why they are important. We'll also discuss when to start planning and how and where to find one. I'll highlight a few resources from the Center for Career Development. During this webinar, you'll also hear graduate students and an alum share their advice related to finding and having internship experiences. What does an internship look like? Here in this presentation, internship refers to a broader range of experiences, which I will call career-related experience. These are experiences in workplace settings that give you the opportunity to explore various career options. A career-related experience is also a learning experience where you may develop knowledge and skills. That's how an internship differs from other experiences, as it offers a more structured learning experience beyond regular work duties and tasks. Career-related experiences can be a lot of things. They can be a GA-ship, practicum, a fellowship, part-time or full-time job, or voluntary services. Experiences might be paid or unpaid, either full-time or part-time, and can last for a few weeks or longer than a year. Some experiences are created and structured by the employers specifically to help the individual to gain knowledge, training, and skills, such as an internship, a fellowship, or a practicum, while other experiences like a part-time job or voluntary services might not have a knowledge or skill building focus designed by the employer. But it is likely that you could still develop skills, expand your networking opportunities, and also gain career experiences and insights about career options and jobs. Why is an internship important for graduate students? Here is what the data says. According to the most recent Internship and Co-op Survey report from the National Association of Colleges and Employers, over half of the internships were converted into a full-time job offer. That means that one student out of two who is engaged in an internship tends to convert that internship into a full-time job. And for some career fields, the conversion rate is even higher. In the next 15 minutes, you will hear from two current graduate students and one alumna share their internship experiences and why they think having internship is important and beneficial. Ashia Mirza is a PhD alumna working at Shell as an electrical engineer. She had two internships during her study at UConn. Kimberly Sobey is pursuing her PhD in music theory and history, and Leuven Spear is a PhD candidate in marketing communication. Here is why they believe internships matter.
In terms of why I wanted to have an internship career related experience. So, for myself, being in a PhD program, most of what I do encompasses more scholarship and academic related research. So, a lot of my work is either testing out theories or still also testing out different concepts in an experimental or survey setting. So, a lot of my research deals in the communication space, social media, or digital forms of marketing and different public relations concepts. So I do a lot of research in my program. However, for myself, coming straight from undergrad into a graduate program, my MA, and then right after my PhD program, I had a lot of kind of theoretical knowledge and understanding of how to do research to this point. However, I hadn't gotten much experience with actually doing kind of those communication functions. So, particularly with myself, I was looking to have some more career related experience to help myself to understand more about the things that I research from or from the organizational perspective. So, understanding some of the things they're trying to do with their marketing, communication, and public relations activities.
When I was doing my first internship, I did feel that there is a lot more to learn. And honestly speaking, that was the first internship I did was not an R&D place. So it was me trying to go and help there, and of course I definitely learned a lot in my first internship. But in second internship, I thought I definitely needed more expertise and experience. And if I do it at a much stronger place, of course, brand, though can deny we can't deny that brand exists in the world. So there are first brand companies and things of that sort, so I wanted that on my CV. So I actively reached out, and a couple ways I did was reach out to my seniors and my professor. And actually, my senior shared this with my advisor, and my advisor actually shared the posting with a couple of graduate students in my lab. And only I happened to apply to that position. So it was great actually. That's how I thought I should, and it worked out fine.
And so this was very important to me as a music PhD student. I'm also doing a grad certificate in feminist studies. And a lot of my research deals with feminist theory in regards to music scholarship. And so what I found really helpful was I was able to continue to develop my research skills. And additionally, I learned about composers who I'd never heard of and kind of expanded my own knowledge. I found it was really beneficial. I really liked doing this internship. I felt like I learned a lot. I was able to do some networking, which will be helpful if I have to recommend a peer reviewer, I have a wider breadth of people for whom I can recommend for that. And it was also really fun. I found it to be really, because it was geared so much to the experience that I have and what I was able to bring. I wasn't dreading the hours that I had to do. I would often find myself, you get into a groove sometimes and you just kind of keep going. And then at the end, you're like, oh, 4 hours just went by. And so I found it to be just really enjoyable, more so than I was expecting.
In terms of the benefits of having that career related experience, I'll say that it kind of falls in line with what I previously said about why I wanted to um, pursue this experience in terms of the benefits, getting to do some of these activities and do these concepts that I research about that seem almost abstract, because sometimes when you're doing research, it doesn't feel as much as you're really it doesn't feel like you're doing it to the extent of when you're actually doing it. So a huge benefit is actually being able to do these things. So knowing about what firms are, how organizations might feel, or the different representatives for organizations, how they feel when they're contacting people from the media, when they're putting out materials on social media, when they're organizing their website to put different promotional materials and also different information, when they're having goals to grow their social media following or grow their different networks, get more subscribers to their newsletter, or get more views or reads on their different pieces. I kind of see from the organization's perspective how they're kind of operating and the importance these things have in their minds. So though all of those are benefits. So here at the Rudd Center, by actually doing and helping them with these activities, I've gained more understanding from the practical standpoint of how and why these firms are operating, or these organizations are operating with these goals in mind. And I believe that'll kind of help in my research to kind of to understand it from that other perspective. I would also say that in the future, I do also hope to do some applied work, if that's in consulting or an additional role that goes along with my eventual teaching. I do want to actually put these concepts and continue that my overall career with actually practicing these things. So I believe that getting this job with the Rudd Center as an experience would bode well as I gain some understanding along with my actual graduate degree. So that's a little bit about why, generally speaking, I chose to have or pursue some career related experience along with my degree.
being able to have this internship, which was a research internship, I found that my ability to do more to develop my research skills, looking for resources. There's more databases with which I'm familiar now. And even the organization, their database has been really helpful for me in researching the composer on whom I'm writing. And it's been really, really helpful. I definitely recommend internships. Because for a multitude of reasons, I think building those skills that are going to help me in my future, and even right now while I'm starting to see the finish line of my own program, it's been definitely beneficial. And there's a possibility to even be hired by them as a full-time staff member if when I'm doing the job search over the summer, or even if jobs are hard to get, the market isn't great. So if I don't end up with a teaching position once I finish my PhD, I know that I have that kind of venue where I might be able to be hired, or they can recommend me to other organizations with which they partner for more professional development and job potential.
The first thing I noticed when I did an internship was I actually was constantly meeting with people, and kind of got their style of walking through the problem, and how they work, and how much detail oriented you can be. And I think I was blessed with mentors at both R&D Dynamics and ABB especially. um, so I think the style in which you incorporate some of those styles from people you work at an internship. Second benefit I think was, yes, as a PhD student we do, or PhD or masters, we do work on a problem or a project, but industry requires a very different. It might require a very different level of detail. For example, let's say if you're working on A, B, C, but in industry you might need A.1, A.2, A.3. So that level of rigor I could see firsthand, and I think I definitely, after I returned from my internship back to academia, I was more rigorous. I think while presenting, I was more concise while I was doing presentations, and I think that was biggest takeaway, and we definitely need it.
All right. I hope you have learned from our graduate students and alumnus insights on pursuing an internship and the benefits they offer. One of the key advantages they all agree on is skill development. Employers highly value skills such as problem solving or critical thinking, teamwork, work ethic, analytical or quantitative skills, written communication skills, and technologies. For Arshia, she developed her work ethic and communication skills, while Kim developed technologies and communication skills, and Luvens polished his skills in technologies and work ethic. When should you start planning for an internship if you decide to find one? You can have an internship at any stage of your graduate study. For international students, please consult International Student and Scholar Services, also known as ISSS, to learn about CPT and OPT requirements. An internship can occur all year round, although many are during the summer. For a summer internship, recruitment may start as early as fall through early spring. I would suggest looking for an internship like 6 to 8 months in advance. You might wonder how and where you can find an internship now. For this slide, I will focus on what I call pre-existing internships. These pre-existing programs are typically offered by well-established companies or organizations, although some are not. These programs are usually listed on job boards or directly on an employer's website in the careers or employment section. Before you start searching, I would suggest taking a moment to reflect and making a list of options that you are interested in. Or you can always work with a career coach at our center to identify your career interests and goals. There are also free career assessment tools designed for graduate students, particularly doctoral students. Some of the tools are Individual Development Plan, my IDP, which is aiming at graduate students and postdoc fellows in sciences. Another tool is for students in the humanities and social sciences, and it's called Imagine PhD. You can always start from these free tools and map out your career. Links to these resources are located on the Center for Career Development's website. To find an internship, there are different platforms available. You might have heard of Handshake. It's a recruiting platform managed by the Center for Career Development, where employers post their job and internship openings. You can log into the system using your net ID and password. Other popular platforms are LinkedIn, Indeed, Volt, and the Yukon-based platform JobX. If you are looking for volunteering opportunities, also check out Yukon Community Outreach Programs. For international graduate students, Interstride is a platform for career exploration and job search. It provides information about jobs and internships with employers that have H-1B filing histories or H-1B cap exemptions. Also, don't forget to talk with people you have connections with, because they can also be the source of learning about internship opportunities. Consider talking to colleagues, faculty, friends, and family members to learn if they have people in their network working at companies or organizations of interest to you.
So my internship for a couple large music organizations, Society of Music Theory and American Musicological Society, we have listservs where we get daily updates of call for papers or conferences that you can attend. And so one day, this internship popped up on one of the digests. And so I did a little bit of more research, and their website was really easy to navigate. And so that was really helpful to have that information. I also found there were a couple listings other places as I started to dig into it a little bit more, but those were the primary resources I was able to use.
So the first internship I got was very interesting, actually, the way I got it. So there was so I work in power electronics lab at UConn, and then there was a undergraduate senior student in our lab, and he was like, one of my senior design companies is actually has a problem which is relevant to power electronics, and they're actually looking for somebody who can help them. And I was like, sure, bring the problem to me and I'll see if I can help. And then he connected us, and then the company, which is R&D Dynamics. So that it's based out of Bloomfield in Connecticut. And so that way we actually talked about the problem, and I said that yes, I can actually take it up. And they were willing to offer it as an internship. So that was really interesting. The second internship I got was this time I was actually looking for an internship, and the first internship experience helped a lot because while interviewing for the second internship, so this was with ABB Research Center in North Carolina, Raleigh. So here, this is it was a very great opportunity, and it's a very strong research focused center based out of North Carolina. And again, the entire theme of this research center is to work on electric drives that support transportation electrification, like electric buses, cars, trains. Um, again, the first internship helped a lot for my second internship, I should say. I don't want to say one is small or one is big, but just looking at the size of the companies, or I don't differentiate, but you could say that the first internship experience was a smaller experience, which helped me land into a bigger internship.
What if you do some research and cannot find an internship that interests you posted anywhere? You can always try exploring and designing your own internship. One example is to reach out directly to employers that are of interest to you. Your thought process might be like, I know I want to work at a nonprofit focusing on health and food security. I found a couple of organizations and reached out to their hiring managers to see if they would consider having an intern with my skills, knowledge, and experience. Another way to begin your career exploration and to develop internship opportunities is to attend career or internship fairs. At UConn, these usually take place twice a year, in spring and fall. Personally, I have found a few benefits in attending career or internship fairs as a graduate student. First, it allows me to explore employers or my career fields of interest and also learn about the skills and experience they look for in a job candidate. I would visit the booths of employers I'm interested in. For example, I once introduced myself briefly to a recruiter at a job fair, and through our conversation, I learned about the recruitment platform they prefer and also obtained the contact information of one of the recruiters that I may reach out to for future inquiries. Sometimes you don't necessarily need to have a specific job title or role in mind when you are approaching the employers. Through talking to them or just browsing their recruitment materials, you may discover new roles you haven't considered. Another tip for finding an internship is to make use of social media, especially LinkedIn. Tip number 1, you can find your network, connect with alums who might just have connections with your target company. Tip number 2, try using LinkedIn's jobs. Here, next to the search bar on the top of your LinkedIn page. The Jobs tab on LinkedIn also allows you to search on and filter for internships. There are plenty of resources at the Center for Career Development that helps you get the most out of LinkedIn. For example, signing up for a webinar about LinkedIn. Check out the center's event page for any upcoming sessions on LinkedIn. It would be useful to learn about some advanced features in LinkedIn that may help you make connections and find great opportunities. Another option is to meet with a career coach to review your LinkedIn profile. There are a few ways the Center for Career Development can assist you as you explore and apply to internships. Before we delve into that, let's first hear what Arshia had to say about her experience working with the center.
But in all of this, I should tell how Center for Career Development helped in finding the internship. So first time, this is an actual story. In 2020, I applied for many internships. Of course, there was COVID, but also one mistake I did was not getting my CV checked from Center for Career Development. I thought there's no spelling mistakes. I'm doing good. I can just submit my CV. But then when next year I thought, okay, what's the harm? I'll go to Center for Career Development and get it done. And that time when I actually had a call and call with Kay, and then Kay went over my CV and she was like, yes, spelling mistake wise you are good, but there are many things you need to address. For example, strategically putting words, finding words, tailoring your CV strategically to actually internship. It's not even strategy, it's just what do they need, what do you have, how do you tell that you have what you need. So that Center for Career Development has helped a lot, and I really want to thank. And that's one of the reasons I want to give back as well.
The career service Ashia mentioned in the video is career consultation. You can schedule an appointment by handshake and talk to a career coach from the Center for Career Development. During these sessions, you can explore your career goals, review your job application materials, or practice interview skills. The Center for Career Development also provides numerous live and on-demand recorded workshops and webinars. For doctoral students, check out the Doctoral Degree Career Community page on the Center's website for more resources, and read the daily soapbox email from the graduate school as we announce events and resources weekly. If you are considering any career-related experience, just go for it. Here are a few pieces of advice and recommendations from our three speakers.
So overall, I definitely believe that this career experience that I've had and will continue to do up until I graduate, hopefully, that it's definitely contributing to, I believe, my overall career goals, which is to be both a teacher and also a practitioner of communication. So overall, I'd recommend it to anybody who has the capability and also the time to do so. I think it's definitely a rewarding experience to actually have an opportunity to do something in the field on the practical side so that you can get a better sense of how you like it, things that you may dislike, things that you didn't know about before, things that you can improve on. So overall, I would say that it's definitely been a rewarding and positive experience.
I definitely think it was a good experience, and I'm happy that I did it. It was, over summers we like to rest and recharge, but my internship was 10 hours a week, and I know they vary depending on what each individual internship looks like. But that amount of work kind of kept my brain moving over the summer, so it didn't completely atrophy while I was resting and not reading. So I guess my biggest advice would be to not be afraid to try it. I think there's a possibility if you find that it's not working, you can just say, okay, this isn't working for me. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to stop my internship. If that's a possibility, some places are not like that, and you kind of have to just muddle through. But I just would say to take the opportunity, not only to build your skills and to build your network, but it's also a line on my CV, and it shows that I've developed these skills more clearly and kind of outlined in my program for me, especially, like, yes, I can do research. I can do XYZ. I have better technology skills and online skills, and I can use the internet very efficiently.
I mean, I did not know the value of doing an internship until I actually went in and saw it. I mean, I knew I wanted one, but I didn't know how it would benefit me until I actually did it. Just go with an open mind is what I would say.
I hope you now have a better understanding of what an internship can include, what having one is important for graduate students, and when, how, and where you can find one. You'll receive a copy of the resources listed here in a follow-up email to attendees. Thank you for joining this webinar. Good luck with your internship search.